Leo needed money to survive. His family's fortune was gone. Now he worked nights at a downtown dive bar. It seemed safe enough for someone like him. He had no scent to attract unwanted attention. 2 months later, that assumption was shattered. A powerful stranger pulled him into a dark room. Then he discovered he was pregnant. He went to a high-end appraiser in the city center. A single ring was all he had left. It was a final gift from his parents. He worried it was only worth a few $100s. That would not be enough to support a child. He passed the ring to the employee. The man examined it, then fell silent. He walked into a back room to make a phone call. Leo's confident smile froze on his face. He feared the ring was stolen. He worried the police were on their way. As he planned his escape, the employee returned. The man stood strategically by the door. He informed Leo the ring's value was too high to assess there. He said their owner was coming personally. Leo's instincts screamed at him to run. He darted out the door. A dozen men in black suits immediately surrounded him. They formed a tight circle, blocking any escape. They parted to allow another man to approach. This man was exceptionally tall and wore a bespoke suit. His aura was one of cold, aristocratic power. He felt disturbingly familiar. Leo recognized the scent from that night, but he quickly dismissed the thought. No man of such status would visit that cheap bar. The man, Julian, stopped directly in front of him. Leo took an involuntary step backward. Julian's brow furrowed slightly. He seemed to be studying Leo's face. In that moment, Leo understood. This man was a Crore. He tried to run again. A strong hand caught him around the waist. He was lifted and pressed firmly against the hood of a Maybach. Leo felt a surge of indignation. Julian's voice, full of confusion, came from behind him. He remarked that Leo seemed heavier. Leo cursed at him, struggling like a fish out of water. Julian gently cupped his face. He seemed amused by the soft flesh on Leo's cheeks. He told Leo to behave. He did not want to cause him any harm. Leo decided to comply for now. He nodded reluctantly and his body went limp. He asked to be released, feeling unwell. A wave of nausea suddenly washed over him. He could not stop himself from getting sick. Julian released him and stepped back. Leo saw an opportunity and ducked under the man's arm. He only made it a few steps. Julian grabbed his collar and pulled him back. He sighed with a hint of disappointment. It seemed Leo had not learned to be cooperative. Leo's hands were bound. He was then carried into the car. Inside the vehicle, Leo glared at Julian. The man sat with an air of sophisticated grace. He met Leo's furious gaze with a playful smile. Leo rolled his eyes, refusing to be intimidated. The city lights blurred outside the window. The motion of the car made him feel dizzy. His pregnancy made him susceptible to sickness. Julian noticed his pale face. He removed the tape covering Leo's mouth. He asked what was wrong. Leo managed to say he was carsick. Julian considered this for a moment. He produced a motion sickness pill from a compartment. He firmly placed it in Leo's mouth. Leo felt a surge of defiance. He demanded to know who Julian was. He insisted that this was kidnapping. Julian calmly played with the discarded tape. He introduced himself as Julian. He was Leo's Crore. He explained that Leo's parents had sold him. Now he was here to collect what was his. Leo was stunned by the declaration. He lunged forward, grabbing Julian's tie. He accused him of lying. He insisted his parents would never do such a thing. Julian's gaze remained steady. He quietly warned Leo about his dangerous position. Leo then became aware of their compromising posture. He was practically sitting in Julian's lap. He pulled back as if he had been burned. His face grew hot with embarrassment. He stammered that his actions were not intentional. A low chuckle rumbled from Julian's chest. Leo told him angrily to stop laughing. The man's amusement only grew. He wondered aloud how Leo would serve him. Leo repeated the word serve with disbelief. Julian confirmed it was his new role. Leo trembled with anger. He accused Julian of illegal imprisonment. Julian calmly straightened his tie. He reminded Leo of his parents' enormous debt. He explained that Leo was merely collateral. Julian was simply exercising his legal rights. The fight drained from Leo. He knew the debts were real. He knew they were impossibly large. He lowered his head as tears began to fall. He was not crying for his parents. He was crying for his own hopeless situation. He cried until he had no strength left. He awoke at a large dining table. Julian had carried him inside. The table was filled with delicious-smelling food. Leo stubbornly turned his head away. His parents had taught him a valuable lesson. Accepting a man's food meant accepting his control. He would not become some rich man's kept secret. He also had to protect the new life inside him. Julian's voice cut through the silence after 20 minutes. He wondered if Leo feared being poisoned. He then grabbed Leo's chin. A spoonful of scrambled eggs was forced into his mouth. The taste was surprisingly good. Still, Leo refused to eat more. Julian's voice, low and annoyed, sounded near his ear. He suggested Leo eat something else then. Before Leo could react, he was lifted into Julian's arms. Julian carried him straight to the bedroom. Leo watched in wide-eyed alarm. Julian began to remove his own jacket and shirt. Late that night, Leo knocked on Julian's bedroom door. His voice was a pathetic, tearful plea. There was no response from within. He slid to the floor in despair. He buried his face in a piece of Julian's clothing. The scent was intoxicating. His body ached with a strange, unfamiliar need. He wondered why Julian was being so cruel. He did not realize his body was changing. The sensation was like being on fire. Just as he was about to pass out, a familiar scent filled the air. It was the scent of pine and cool snow. He felt a surge of desperate energy. He pushed Julian into the bedroom. He pressed him against the wall. He buried his nose in the man's neck, inhaling deeply. He begged Julian for more of his scent. He admitted he had been wrong. Julian remained still, so Leo moved closer, nuzzling his neck. He pleaded with him, all pride forgotten. Julian's eyes darkened. He seemed to be fighting a powerful internal battle. Finally, he lifted Leo and threw him onto the bed. An overwhelming wave of the scent engulfed him. The next morning, Julian was gone. Leo felt refreshed and strangely comfortable. But he was also frustrated. He had begged for a mark all night and received nothing. He tiptoed out of the room. Julian was leaning against the wall outside. He held a cigarette between his fingers. He looked up when the door opened. His deep gaze fell to Leo's bare feet. Leo flinched and tried to retreat. Julian blocked the door. He extinguished his cigarette. He asked quietly if Leo was awake. Leo nodded, then shook his head. He mumbled that he was still sleeping. He tried to slip back into the room. Julian caught him easily. He asked if Leo was avoiding him. Leo looked away guiltily. Julian's fingers pressed against his lips. His tone became dangerous. He said he had a meeting that afternoon. He instructed Leo to behave while he was gone. Leo nodded eagerly like an obedient dog. Julian seemed satisfied and ruffled his hair. As Julian's car disappeared down the drive, Leo made a rude gesture. He ate a quick meal and went to his room. He looked out the second-floor window. He had used this escape route many times as a child. He climbed out and landed softly on the grass below. He walked away from the mansion with a triumphant smile. He refused to be a prisoner. He hurried back to his old rental apartment. He pulled a rusty cookie tin from under his bed. It contained all the money he had saved. It was not much, but he hoped it would be enough. He felt a pang of guilt as he touched his stomach. But he could not be a person who depended on others. He clutched the tin and went to the hospital. He scheduled an abortion. Then he sat on a bench in the cold hallway. The chilly air made him shiver. He wrapped his coat tighter around himself. He buried his face in his scarf. The fabric smelled of Julian. He hated it, yet he inhaled the scent deeply. His phone rang, showing an unknown number. He hesitated, fearing another crore. Finally, he answered the call. A familiar, deep voice spoke. Julian asked if he should come get him. Leo looked up, shocked. Julian was standing not far away, his face grim. Leo bolted without thinking. Julian was fast. His long legs closed the distance in seconds. He grabbed Leo's arm. His eyes narrowed. He stated that Leo was pregnant. It was not a question. Leo froze, his hands trembling. The cookie tin slipped from his grasp. The lid popped open. Bills scattered across the floor. They were old and worn. He scrambled to pick them up. Julian's bodyguards moved faster. Leo suddenly shouted, his voice cracking with desperation. He cried that the money was his. He had saved it for a long time. Uncontrollable sobs shook his body. He collapsed over the pile of money, protecting it. Julian's expression softened almost imperceptibly. He waved his bodyguards away. He crouched down to Leo's level. He asked Leo to look at him. Something in his gentle tone reached through the panic. Leo looked up, his vision blurred by tears. Julian asked if he was desperate for money. Leo nodded, unable to speak. Julian then offered to give him money. Leo shook his head. Julian seemed confused by his refusal. Leo clutched the cookie tin to his chest. He mumbled that businessmen were not to be trusted. Julian gave a small, weary smile. He told Leo to name his own terms. He promised he would agree to anything. Leo then explained the entire situation. He told Julian about the bar. He described the stranger who had marked him. He explained how it had changed his body. The more he spoke, the more upset he became. Julian's face grew cold. He stated that Leo wanted to terminate the pregnancy. Leo paused, then shook his head. He confessed he could not afford to keep the child. Julian's voice became sharp and cold. He informed Leo of the high risks for his type. He said a person like him could easily die on the operating table. He painted a grim picture. Leo would be alone, bleeding out on a cold table. Leo covered his ears. He begged Julian to stop. Julian's tone softened. He offered to take responsibility for the child. Leo refused. He knew no top-tier man would raise another's baby. He took a deep breath. He looked directly into Julian's eyes. He proposed a transaction. Julian would provide food and shelter until the baby was born. In return, Leo offered himself. He pointed out their high compatibility. He could provide for Julian's physical needs. After speaking, he waited anxiously. He feared Julian would refuse the offer. Julian was silent for a long moment. A complex emotion flickered in his eyes. He asked if Leo was certain about this arrangement. Leo said he was. In the next instant, Julian lifted him up. A black CR card was slipped between his lips. Julian told him he would lose 10,000 for every drop. Leo stared in disbelief. His pride warred with his need for money. He glared at Julian with defiant, teary eyes. Julian chuckled softly. He wondered aloud if Leo planned to empty his accounts. He then began to gently tease Leo's earlobe. Leo struggled to hold the card in his mouth. Julian's actions became more distracting. He murmured that Leo's endurance needed training. Leo could not hold on any longer. The card fell from his mouth. He scrambled away in embarrassment. Julian was surprisingly good to him. He was also good to the baby. Leo gained weight over the next 5 months. Julian provided him with the best food. He said the baby deserved the best nutrition. He never marked Leo, but he soothed him frequently with his scent. Leo felt comfortable and restless. He enjoyed provoking the powerful man. He sat on Julian's lap during a workday. He playfully tugged on his tie. He whispered that he was ready for the boss. He licked Julian's earlobe for effect. Julian's breathing quickened. His eyes darkened with desire. Just as Leo felt triumphant, a cough came from the computer. It was Julian's actual assistant. He was still in a video conference. Leo laughed awkwardly and tried to escape. Julian pulled him back. He ended the meeting. He looked at Leo with a predatory smile. He said they could continue now. Later, Leo lay curled in Julian's arms. He complained that Julian was being too good to him. He was becoming dependent. Julian held him closer. His voice was soft and gentle. He suggested that Leo should just stay. Leo said no, reminding him of their agreement. He asked what Julian had mumbled. Julian changed the subject. Leo learned Julian's birthday was approaching. He decided to get him a gift. He asked a maid what Julian cherished most. The maid said that besides Leo, it was the safe in his study. Leo's eyes lit up. He knew powerful men kept important things in safes. He snuck into the study while Julian was out. He tried several common passwords without success. He tried Julian's birthday, then his own. Nothing worked. He suddenly remembered the ring. Julian had never taken it back. He examined it closely. A small inscription was inside the band. It was a 4-digit number. He entered the numbers. The safe clicked open. Inside were 2 marriage certificates and a photograph. His heart sank, then leaped into his throat. The photo was of him. He was with a sullen little boy he used to know. Before his family's bankruptcy, they were prominent. Their family and Julian's were old friends. Julian's family had 1 son. Leo had called him Julian the Weirdo. The boy had been quiet and gloomy, but he had followed Leo everywhere. He even stood guard outside the bathroom. He always said he had to protect his future spouse. When Leo was 5, his body type was confirmed. Julian, at 8, was confirmed as a top-tier alpha. The boy became more possessive after that. He would